19.3 selection. Fossils tell us that many organisms that once lived no longer exist. Charles Darwin published a book called On the Origin of Species, and this book is mentioning about evolution. So these are the examples of fossils. So from these fossils telling us that there are organisms which has no more exist on the earth now, but exist in the past. Variation, there are individuals or species that varies slightly from one another. So vary slightly means little bit different. So number two, some slight variations may better adapt them to their environment than others. So these differences, these small differences are actually to help them to adapt to their environment. So later we will further discuss. Overproduction. Turtle lays a lot of eggs. And what is called overproduction? Number one, most organisms produce more young than will survive to adulthood. It means produce many children and expected that many cannot survive until adulthood. So turtle lay many eggs and end up in the tummy of the predators. See, not all are being able to survive. Struggle for existence. Population don't increase in size rapidly. You see the word size? They increase in number, but they don't increase in size rapidly for the survival between the organisms. The next one is about survival of fittest. The fittest. The fittest means the strongest, the best. So only the well-adapted one will survive. So this is the example of from the textbook. Picture number one, genetic variation. Genetic variation is talking about same species, but there are differences. So the first cactus has a long root, another cactus has short root. The second picture, in the wet season, they flower. Flower means they are going to reproduce, sexually reproduce. Overproduction, they will produce a lot of offspring. Okay, the next picture, struggle for existence means now they face challenges of their life. During the dry season, there is a competition for water. So those cactus or cacti with short root cannot survive. Only those with a long root can survive. So survival for the fittest, the best one can survive. The longest root cactus, they will reproduce, and the good phenotype, which is the long root with the good gene, will pass to the offspring. So you will see those small cactus that they have the good gene, and then their root will be long as their parents. Advantages or characteristics passed on to offspring. So as what we mentioned just now, the alleles or the good genes, alleles means another alternative form of gene, means gene. The alleles will pass on to the offspring. So you look at the picture at the bottom, you see the giraffe. There are tall giraffe, there are short giraffe, and the short one cannot eat the leaf on the tall tree. So what will happen at the end? At the end, this kind of short giraffe will die. So go up again, gradual change. Number one, slowly those poorly adapted individuals will reduce, and the population will slowly become better adapted to its environment. So it is about the theory of natural selection. Those best adapted organisms are selected, and their good characteristics will pass to the next generation. So evolution means what? Evolution means the change in adaptive features over time as the result of natural selection. It's not the change of the gene, it's the change of among the individuals among the species. Which one has the best adaptive feature that will survive? See, natural selection results in the genes producing advantageous phenotype being passed on to the next generation. So natural selection, you see the right hand side, the two moths they are actually same species, but one black, one pale, just like human. So before 1849, can you see this picture? There are actually two moths there. One is on the left. Here you can see it clearly because it is well camouflaged with the color of the environment. Another on the right hand side is so obviously seen. It is the black moth. What do you think? Which one will survive? Which one will be clearly seen by the predator? So the next picture after 1849, you discovered the tree trunk is black in color due to pollution, actually air pollution. Air pollution occur because of the industrial revolution. So air pollution causes lichen cannot be grown. So what will happen is the tree trunk is black in color. Okay, so the black color is not easily seen by the predator, and the pale moth can be easily seen by the predator. So after 1849, can you tell me black or pale, which one is more? So before 1849, more pale one will survive because they are well camouflaged. Well, on the other hand, after 1849, after the pollution occurred, more black ones survive. So number two, they fly by night, rest on the tree trunk during the daytime. So during the daytime when they are resting, the predator will eat them. So those clearly seen, those moths which are clearly seen will be eaten by the predator. Okay, so number three, those speckled wing camouflage very effectively on the lichen covered tree trunks. Lichen will die or cannot grow because of the air pollution. So after 1849, most of the tree trunks has no lichen, and plus the pollution, and it become black in color. So number four, before 1849, all the peppered moth is speckled. Speckled means many dots, many spots, like a white color pale moth. Okay, look at the picture at the bottom. You see the predator looking down the prey, and which one can be seen clearly? Of course, the darker one, the more contrasted one can be seen clearly, and the predator will eat those darker color one. So number five, in 1849, the black form of moth was caught. Why? Because okay, number six, by 1900, moths mostly caught were black. Why? Because of the industrialization. Because many of them survived due to the black tree trunk. So before industrialization, more speckled pale moths were found because they were better camouflaged on the lichen covered tree trunk. Okay, so look at the picture on the right hand side. When the tree trunk is black, so the predator can only see the pale moth, and the predator will eat them when they are resting on the tree trunk. So number nine, after industrialization, the tree trunk were polluted. Okay, so number 10, the pale moths in polluted area were predated by birds. The next example is about bacteria. So the first picture, there are a lot of germs, a lot of bacteria, and some are resistant towards the drug or antibiotics. So most of the second picture is most of the bacteria are being killed by the antibiotics, but the stronger one will survive. You see the blue color one, it is resistant bacteria, and this resistant bacteria will reproduce and get many offspring. Okay, so this is also natural selection. Bacteria will become stronger and stronger if we frequently use antibiotics. If we don't use antibiotics to kill them, maybe their strength will remain. They won't be so strong, you see. So the advantage and disadvantages of using antibiotics. When you use antibiotic too frequently, use the bacteria in your body will be stronger and stronger. Okay, so number 6, the descendants may form a huge population of penicillin. Penicillin is antibiotics, resistant bacteria. Okay, so example, Staphylococcus aureus. This type of bacteria is resistant towards many antibiotics. Stabilizing selection. Stabilizing selection means, in fact, um, change does always happen in result of natural selection, but it will become stable. Number 3, change only occur if the environmental changes or new mutation appears which adapts better to the existing environment. Let's say, for example, okay, all the species are the same, but suddenly got one very strong one enter that population or that ecosystem. So what will happen is the weaker one will die. Number 4, in the southwest of Britain, the same example, the moth lah. Okay, in the southwest of Britain, because there is no pollution, therefore the moth will never change. No much of changes like what we mentioned just now. Number 5, the air is not polluted. The lichen continue to grow, and the dark moths are at a disadvantage. Okay, easily seen by the predator and unlikely to survive. So number 7, more importantly, most of the time, natural selection prefers stabilizing selection. No change. So you see this species remain virtually unchanged for 350 million years, live deep in the Indian Ocean. No change, stable. So natural selection, you see the right hand side, the two moths they are actually same species, but one black, one pale, just like human. So before 1849, can you see this picture? There are actually two moths there. One is on the left. Here you can see it clearly because it is well camouflaged with the color of the environment. Another on the right hand side is so obviously seen. It is the black moth. What do you think? Which one will survive? Which one will be clearly seen by the predator? So the next picture. So sickle cell anemia is very dangerous. It's very deadly. Why has natural selection not removed it from the human population? Because it is deadly, should be removed by natural selection, right? Those weaker one, because people who get sickle cell anemia, they cannot live too long. So number 4, the sickle gene has a tiny, the S sickle gene or mutated gene has a tiny different DNA sequence. This changes the amino acid sequence in the hemoglobin, and the hemoglobin cannot work well. So number 5, the faulty hemoglobin has a tendency to produce fiber inside red blood cell, and the red blood cell change shape. See? So number 6, the red blood cell get pulled to form a sickle shape and get stuck in the blood capillary. That's a sad thing. So the blockage in the blood vessels stop the blood flowing to some body parts, and they cause pain due to lack of oxygen. So number 9, patient feel tired, short of breath, oxygen cannot be delivered well, respiration rate is low, lack of energy of body activity, and it might damage the kidney, damage the eye, the heart. And this type of person, number 11, might die early. So number 12, talking about the genotype. The genotype for normal hemoglobin will be AA, big A, big A. Big A and big S, A and S are actually heterozygous. And these people, they have mixed normal red blood cell and the sickle shaped red blood cell. Because these A and S, they are not dominant and recessive, but they are co-dominant. That's the problem. Okay, so if it is heterozygous, means different A and S, these people will have normal red blood cell, normal shape, and also sickle shape. Number 14. So if it is both S, all the hemoglobin or all the red blood cell will be sickle shape. Very dangerous. So number 15, why sickle cell anemia, since it is so dangerous, not being removed according to the natural selection? By right, they should diminish. they should all die lah. No more exist on earth. But why there are still sickle cell anemia patients? The answer is because of one word: malaria. Malaria is a okay. So you see this picture. Past year question also asked this question. On the left hand side is the distribution of sickle cell anemia. On the right hand side is the malaria, and you can see almost the same area, right? Almost the same area. So now malaria is spread by mosquito, and in the mosquito we found the one cell parasite. So this parasite causes malaria. Okay, the malaria will reproduce. They will go into the lymphatic vessels, go into the liver, reproduce, etc. Okay. So number 17. In the past, people who are homozygous, SS means sickle cell allele, they will die early. Number 18, people who were homozygous normal allele, at that moment in Africa, they die due to malaria. Many people die. Okay, normal allele. Number 19, and surprisingly, people who are heterozygous sickle cell AS, they were more resistant to malaria. Okay, so number 20, the place which malaria was present, people who are heterozygous sickle cell survive. And because of that, many normal people die due to malaria. Many of them die, but many people who survive are those people who are heterozygous. So number 21, they could survive until they were old enough to reproduce. So that's the problem. If they die before they reach the adulthood to get married, then this disease will disappear, but they can live old enough to reproduce. So you look at this power slideshow. Okay, the two monsters at the bottom: sickle cell monster, malaria monster. So this sickle cell monster will kill which group of people? So the first one, homozygous SS, as means sickle cell. So they will be killed by, they will die early due to sickle disease. What about homozygous normal gene, normal allele? They will die at that time, they will die due to malaria. And heterozygous AS, they survive from malaria, and many of them in Africa survive. Many of them survive. So that is the reason why sickle cell anemia still exists. Maybe in the future will be diminished, will be no more, but now still have. So you see those people who survive are heterozygous, they get married, and then they will have offspring with many types of genotypes, okay, bringing the sickle cell gene. Okay, next topic is about selective breeding. Okay, you see this chicken, one slim, one fat. If you are the farmer breeder, you will choose the fat one, right? Ask them to breed, ask them to get married, lay eggs. Hopefully next generation will have all fat one like this, more meat. So the slim one, they will disappear. Okay, then slowly they discover, hey, bigger size chicken produced. So they will choose the bigger size one and let them to breed, lay eggs, and hopefully the next generation will be the same size with them. So this is what happened in the past, in 1957, 1978, 2005. By selective breeding, they get these changes of the size of the chicken. But the problem is human selection doesn't mean it's the best for the animal. Okay, we choose the cattle with more milk, more meat. Okay, they choose the one with characteristic that they want. But okay, number 4, see, the process is called artificial selection. Number 5, the characteristic that human think is good do not often to be good if it was living in the wild. Okay, So number 6, breeder choose cattle with a high milk yield, fast milk meat production, but low chance to survive in the what? So you see, this is the more meat cattle. So what will happen if it is living in the wild and tiger approach it? Cannot run so fast because it is too heavy. Okay, cannot survive in. So that's it. Thank you very much. Do the past year question.